Hey folks, did you by chance catch the video game awards last night? Or whatever time of the day it was for you? I'm sure if you did, there were games that you thought, hey, that game really deserved that, or hey, I think another game really deserved that award. Which is just kind of the nature of the beast, really. Like, who gets to vote on those things? Not me, not you. But, well, probably not you. I'll assume, anyway. But, like, at the end of the day, it's just an opinion. Like, them giving them this award just means they like that game. That doesn't actually mean that X game is better than Y game. The biggest one I hear people bringing up is that, Undertale didn't didn't get nearly enough attention, and that I don't think it took any awards actually, despite being, according to a lot of people, a really, 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 really great game. And looking over the list of the games that won awards, a lot of them were like big name AAA games. Not all of them. For example, Her Story, which you may remember I made some videos about, took Best Narrative Award, I think, or was it Best Story? Something like that. On the whole, you saw really big games like The Witcher 3, Metal Gear Solid 5, taking most of the awards, which, I mean, I think an event like that is kind of meant to promote big games like that, sadly. So I think it's kind of par for the course, really. Speaking of Metal Gear Solid 5, it was pretty infuriating, and not just for me, for a lot of people, I think, that Hideo Kojima, the developer of not just that game, but the entire series, well, I should say lead developer, that would be more accurate, wasn't allowed to come and accept the award. It was pretty galling, really. And all because Konami's, I guess, pissed at him? I don't know what the story is there. But I mean, can you imagine something like you've put decades of your life into, not specifically that game, mind you, but the series. And I played that game, actually. I put 70 hours into it, and it's a lot of fun. Definitely earned its award, but not being able to stand up and be recognized for that, that's pretty shitty. I played a lot of Lamento today for recording, and something jumped out at me that, I can't believe I didn't realize sooner, and that was how similar Konoe's character, or how much he reminds me of another character, and it's from a TV show, Hannibal, and the character is Will Graham, who's arguably the lead character, maybe not. Maybe Hannibal actually is, but Will got most of the screen time, so there's that. But what's so similar about them is, well, their empathy. That, like, in the first season of Hannibal, Will is described as someone with true empathy, or something like that. But the idea being that he can so easily step into the shoes of another person, even a psychopathic person, that it almost makes it so he has trouble holding on to his own self, his own ego, that people just almost infect him with their own selves when he puts himself in their shoes. And Konoe's power to pick up on people's feelings and memories and put himself into those, like with the two cats who, I think it was episode 4, where one of them was being sacrificed and the other was like, no. It was a very sad moment. But the way that how that condition affects those two characters is very similar too, because they quickly seem to develop this tough skin, or they try to anyway, and they try to keep people at an arm's length because it's so painful to know someone because of that empathy, because they get hurt so easily. Anyway, I'll be curious to see if Konoe has a similar arc where he becomes more and more like the people he's trying, where Will becomes more and more like the people he's trying to catch, because he keeps putting himself into their shoes. I've also been playing a lot of Bloodborne, which is just sublime. Well, if you're the kind of masochistic person who likes a challenge where you're going to die over and over again until you figure out what you're doing wrong and overcome it, then it's great. If that doesn't sound appealing, then it would be awful. It would just hate it. But I played a lot of Dark Souls, and you may remember I streamed some, like, quite some time ago. But probably one of my favorite games, and Bloodborne is definitely, well, I haven't finished it yet, but it's definitely a contender at this point for being one of my games of the year. I think probably my favorite thing about it doesn't have anything to do with the gameplay at all. It's the setting, it's the themes. If you don't know, it's sort of set in this gothic Victorian setting where everyone's dressed in black and grays, and the city is tall towers and spiked fences and cobblestone streets, and monsters are werewolves and Frankenstein-like beasts, and they use blunderbusses, and it feels like I'm in an Edgar Allan Poe story, like not The Pit and the Pendulum, obviously, but more like what was it? Let me googs it, because I can't remember the name. The Fall of the House of Usher, where the main character comes to the house to console his friend, I think because his sister had died, and then he comes back later to find his friend dead, because his sister had maybe been alive all along in a tomb in the bottom of the house, or maybe came back as a ghost or a zombie. Not real clear on that, but that's what this game reminds me of. There's this real thick layer of creepy uneasiness on top of, like, the pretensions of what was modern life at the time. To go back to her story, while I'll definitely agree that the narrative was great, honestly, I think the greatest thing about that game was the mechanic it used for you to search out the different videos that to discover the story, you had to do detective work, that you had to do something that only a video game could let you do. Like, to go through these files, searching for keywords, is something that you couldn't get in a movie or a book. And you experience that through this game of these two women's stories. And it was one of the most immersive ways I've ever experienced a video game narrative. I really look forward to the future of games and what they can figure out that is unique to their medium, and how they can use that to tell stories. Because too many games just try to ape movies or books, that they want you to experience the game the way you would a movie or a book, or at least the story elements of it. And that just doesn't work as well, because a game isn't those things. Not that there's anything wrong with that necessarily, but it's not playing to the medium's strengths. Whereas something like Her Story or Undertale, from what I'm told, I haven't actually gotten to play it yet, but apparently both of those games really take advantage of the fact that they're a video game. Speaking of just video games, I heard recently, and this is kind of funny, that a patent that Bandai and Namco had on loading screen mini games has expired or is going to expire soon. So apparently the reason why we've all had to look at blank loading screens or just loading screens with 3D models or pictures or whatever floating around instead of getting to play a little game to entertain ourselves while we wait is because of some patent trolling by Bandai? Okay. Well, hopefully loading screens will be a lot more fun in the not too far off future. I noticed the channel is actually coming up on 2,000 subs, which is kind of trippy. I don't know if I want to do anything for that or what I could even do, but it's so... Well, I mean, unexpected isn't the right word because inevitably, if you continue to gain subs, you'll increase the number. It's just that I didn't ever expect to get this far, I guess is the right way to put it. So I guess I'm just really pleased, just with the whole experience. Like, it's been very satisfying for me to be able to do this every week. Like, it kind of gives me both, like, a creative outlet, I guess, which is something that for a lot of my life I've just never really done a whole lot of. Like, after I make a video, like, my mood is better, like, I feel like good, like I've accomplished something, like it's more satisfying than doing my job, like you know how you're just like, oh, just, or if you're like me anyway, you're just doing it to get a paycheck, you're just doing it because you have to do it. But doing something like making videos for fun, it's just, I guess what I'm just trying to say is thank you. Because I've had a lot of fun doing this over the past almost 6 months now, I think. Yeah. And it's meant a lot to me. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing in the future with the channel, because at some point I'm going to finish Lamento and Dramatical Murder. I know it seems like it's taking forever. I am planning to increase my production schedule because I have, yeah, just more time these days because I'm not having to work as much as I have been. It's not as tired out. So whenever that happens, I don't know what I'll do. Like, I enjoy doing the voiceover Let's Plays of the visual novels, but like, you can probably guess that it's not the only thing I want to do because I'll keep putting up gameplay. Like recently, I did a Dragon Age. Before I've done Alien Alien Isolation, which I still intend to finish sometime. So maybe I'll pick that up. But yeah, I don't know really where I want to go from here. The Starfighter thing was kind of like a fluke for me because I hadn't really played a whole lot of visual novels before that. Like, I'm still pretty new to the genre, actually. I'm not sure. Maybe I can figure something out with those games. Because it's not that there's anything wrong with those, it's just that I'm the kind of person who I think needs to not do the same thing all the time, if that makes sense. So I guess it's just me saying, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But at the end of the day, I'm having fun, so it's probably not really necessary to stress out about it too much. I guess I'm just being a worrywart. Anyway, folks, it was good talking to you. I'll see you next time, huh? Peace.